You don't need to be in Chopper 16 to see just how close some of these homes are to the water, but it certainly does add some perspective.
The reason is all about witnesses. That's because you could go minute after minute without a single car passing by. In the Negev Desert, this is Evan Koslof reporting on the renewed violence here in Israel. CBS is reporting that there was some rocket fire launched from the Gaza Strip and then returned from Israel. We took a drive today to check out the roadways. All right, now as we pull up at a red light, I just want to describe some of the roads we're facing. Right now I'm at the end of the runway, which is about 5,500 feet, but with about $20 million from the state, they plan to move it all the way back here to 6,000 feet. This deed in my hands dates back to 2008 when somebody left the property in question for the Grace United Methodist Church. Now in the new technological era, you're always connected because with the snap of a video on your phone, you can send it to anyone across the globe. This chicken is just one out of 93,000 chickens here on this property, and with 4 chicken houses, that would make the tax increase very high. Miriam Ramirez of SEAFORD says domestic violence has long been a part of her life.
The past was very difficult because for me, I looked at it like it wasn't a problem.
WBOC took a trip today. After fueling up, we were ready to hit the sky. From inside, you can see Denrec dropping a bacterially produced insecticide from above. CAPE students are already able to do work at home using their iPads. This is one of the main apps they're using. It's called Schoology. It allows them to get access to all the content they need, whether they're here at school or right here on the couch. When you look at the numbers, there's no question as to why many people are turning to scooters like this one. This one gets 110 miles per gallon. Some of them get as high as 140 miles per gallon. On top of that, they're actually pretty fun as well. Here at Old Landing and Route 1, we're going to time how long those yellow lights are. 4.9. That's all the time you have before you get a ticket at this red light. All the games will be played right here at the Cape Henlopen High School, and it's all about bringing in some of the best talent from across the country. That means hopefully a little better than me. And let's talk scale about this project. This will bring in 1.9 million cubic yards of sand from the middle of the channel to right here on the beach. That will push the shoreline out by half a football field. Greeted by a lock, how one access point at the Prime Hook National Wildlife Refuge is shut down for this summer. By that time, they expect to see 82 centimeters. What's that mean in feet? It means not 1, not 2, but 2 feet and 8 inches by 2100. It's just early March when I was standing in front of that building right over there, the county building, to talk about this new contract. Now the conversation is moving here to the town hall here in Georgetown. In the Postal Service credo, it says that neither rain nor snow nor heat nor gloom can stop them from delivering your mail. But fire? That could get a little bit in the way. Millsboro, they've been testing body cameras since 2011. They have had problems with durability and storage. Now they're hoping that with these new body cameras, they could open the door to full transparency. Get on the ground, taser! You're getting a look at a chase in Millsboro back in 2012. Captain Brian Calloway of Millsboro PD pulled over 2 men when the passenger took off. A few moments later, Calloway uses the taser. The whole scene caught on tape by a body camera.
This is a traffic stop.
Now, nearly 3 years later, WBOC joined Calloway to talk about these cameras. At this week's council meeting, the town approved 3 of these brand new models.
If they are involved in a force-related incident, they can show and justify what kind of force they used and when they used it.
And with the new cameras, it's as simple as sliding the tab down. Then in just a few seconds, the video will start to record.
Hey guys, stop for me.
As it did here, responding to reported drug activity, or here at a traffic stop for talking on the phone, and especially here when things got physical.
Now this is a problem with the video, with the body camera. It looks a lot worse than what it is because it's only capturing what's up close to that person.
Calloway says the cameras cost just about $2,700. This follows a purchase in October of a $5,500 server to hold the footage from patrol cars and body cameras.
I want you to sit down.
But for Calloway, he says it's worth it if it means more transparency in policing. All right, now one last issue that Calloway brought up was policy implementation. That's because these cameras are relatively new, and so there's really not a lot of precedents to work with. Those 2 words are look again. It's a very simple message, but her father says it's a message that could have saved her life. And if you take a look over here, you'll see the memorial. Obviously, it's full of flowers and messages of love. Now, the accident was close to 3 years ago, but her father says that the wounds are still very fresh.
And Brielle could care less.
Nils Milford can't help but tear up as he looks at photos of his daughter.
My emotion is love. I miss my little girl.
They're happy memories, moments stitched in his mind forever. On November 23, 2011, though, a more painful memory comes to mind. His daughter, Alexis Brielle Mulford, 16 at the time, was killed at this SEAFORD intersection, hit by a car in her blind spot.
I've got a doctor that's telling me that you just need to sit down. You need to sit down. And I told her no. I need to see my daughter. Just tell me where my daughter is. And she said, your daughter didn't make it.
At first, Milford says he was lost. He was looking for meaning in her death. Then one day in Salisbury, he says he found the sign he was looking for.
And as I start to go across the intersection there, I see this look again sign. And I'm like, this is a sign from my daughter.
So Mulford made some calls. He found out that these signs are all over Maryland, but in Delaware, they are rare. For 2 years, he fought for them. He spoke to county leaders, state lawmakers, and even DelDOT, anyone who would listen to his plea. And then, after 2 years, it happened. 6 signs just like this are now posted at the intersection where his daughter had lost her life.
The only thing we ask as parents is that they get a fair chance. This sign gives kids a very inexpensive fair chance.
2 words Milford hopes can help save lives. Now, back out here at the memorial, Milford says that these signs are more than just a tribute. In fact, he says they've led to an accident rate decrease at dangerous intersections in Maryland of about 40%. Now he hopes to bring that here to Delaware. All of them are in one SEAFORD hotel room, and he said living in this type of poverty can make it hard for the children to focus on just being kids. Meet Athena, just 8 years old. She's already been through 2 open heart surgeries, and her family's luck got even worse in early February when a fire damaged their home. Now, for the last 2 months, the family of 8 has lived here in a crowded SEAFORD hotel room.
We can't stay in the hotel. We don't have no money, so we couldn't go nowhere else. So a hotel is only where we have to go.
She's joined in the room by her sleepy cousin Damien and her grandpa, Christopher Sanders.
That's my grandbaby. I want to make sure she's happy instead of sad. I want to move forward with all of them, make them all be happy, put them in a decent home. That way they can just grow up as kids.
It's a snapshot of poverty in Delaware, but they're far from alone. A new study out of UD shows that the number of kids in poverty jumped from 35,000 in 2012 to just about 49,000 in 2014. And if you look at the percentages, you'll see that Delaware is just a tick above the national average. And at the Goshen United Methodist Church in Milton, volunteer Barbara Wright says they're seeing more families than ever before.
Now what we're seeing is families of 4, 5, a family of 9, several 6s. So that just tells me that the number of children who are involved with needing food is growing.
Are you hopeful for what's next?
Yes, I'm waiting if we can get a place and everybody will back where it was.
You want a life like before?
Like what we had before, we had our own bedrooms.
Child poverty, a growing problem in the first state. All right, now just a few numbers for you guys. A family of 4 at that poverty threshold would have an income of about $24,000, just above that. As for one parent, 2-child home, that number would be just over $19,000. His name was William McCafferty, but many around here knew him affectionately as Uncle Billy. And at this Valero that you could see over my right shoulder, like clockwork, he would come in almost every day to get a coffee and a pumpkin pie. Today, they knew something was wrong when he didn't come in. A long, grief-stricken embrace amongst family members as they mourned the loss of their father and grandfather, William McCafferty. At the site of the crash, his grandson tells us about his grandfather.
He was just an all-around kind man, and he loved his family. I mean, that was the most important thing to him. I just hope that he went peacefully and didn't have to suffer at all.
The accident happened here in the LEWES area, just east of the intersection of Route 24 and Camp Arrowhead Road. And this is not the first accident in the area. The Office of Highway Safety doesn't have 2014 numbers, but between 2011 and 2013, there were 158 crashes between Camp Arrowhead Road and Route 1.
115, that's pretty daggone good.
Susan Schenkel, an employee at the general store in the Peddler's Village Shopping Center, says the road can be described in just 2 words.
Busy and dangerous. We always have something going on. There's always an accident, always something.
So now many like Schenkel are calling for road improvements, and the Department of Transportation of Delaware says it's hearing these concerns. DelDOT officials say this intersection is one of many on Route 24 that needs safety improvements. The department tells WBOC that preliminary engineering could start as soon as fiscal year 2016, and construction could start by 2019 if the funding remains available. That work would include additional turn lanes and pedestrian improvements.
Route 24 is a mess.
Back at the general store, resident Sonia Johnson says she hopes the most recent accident can lead to a change.
They really need it because he's not the only person that's been hit there.
Now, according to DelDOT, that construction date of 2019 could be sooner or later. All of that will have to do with funding. In Sussex County, this is Evan Koslof for WBOC News in Lewis.